Hi guys. I've been asked a few times now, I've seen the question being asked how to wire up a battery pack to run lights and pumps and stuff off. So I have a Gold Zero Yeti 1400, which is the first version. It doesn't have the Wi-Fi stuff. I did have the optimization unit, but it broke, so I'm waiting for replacement. So it's got the inverter built in. It's got the USB port, which I can switch off. It's got the solar panels charging it at the moment, so it's cloudy day, so I've got 28 watts coming in, and I'm using 2.5 amps, 31, so I'm using a little bit more than I'm getting. I do have all the lights on, so if I take the lights out, that should drop to 0 watts, and I think it will drop to something like 0.1 amp, which is the fridge, or even 0, but the fridge is plugged in. So the way I've done it is, so I've got this Gold Zero. Let me just show you, the van is still a work in progress. So I've got these Gold Zero lights running. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one in there. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights, which is the two differences. 28 watts. They're not all on full brightness, I think. So these plug into this port here, which is annoying because there's no switch on it. So the only turn them off is to actually turn all of them off, which is why I then thought I wanted to switch and I didn't want to cut any of these cables. So there's the back of it. I've put some other LEDs lights in there, and also under the kitchen. So they're just the strip lights cabled up. At the moment I've only got the two, and then there's the fridge, which is in there. So the fridge actually runs off the cigarette lighter. That's this one. That is currently the Gold Zero lights that are in the main cabin, which I will keep because I have them. And then the other stuff all gets wired up. So how to do it? I didn't want to turn the inverter on and run up that and then run a 230 volt normal lighting circuit. I still wanted the 12 volt. So what I did, and I didn't want to use a bus bar, so I used one of a fuse box, a blade fuse switch. So each one is fused. It doesn't actually need to be really, because the Gold Zero has a fuse built in anyway, which will trigger. Now the other problem is my heater, which doesn't need 10 amp, but it does spike over 10 amps just quickly when you start it first up. So the fuse inside this kept triggering when I had the heater just plugged into one of them, which is the Anderson port at the bottom there. So what I actually did, I bought a cable from Gold Zero, it's basically 4. So in the Gold Zero one, each of these 4 plugs has 10 amps. But if you need more than 10, you kind of need to use 2, which I didn't know you could. But anyway, Gold Zero have a cable which combines all 4 plugs into one. And it's designed to give 40 amp output on those 4 plugs. But I needed the fridge one, so I've used this one. I wanted one for the lights. I've used the one, so I've got 20 amps left. So I've put 2 cables in, and I've got 20 amps running through there to my fuse box. So the maximum I can get is 20 amps. I could increase it to 30 if I plug in this one instead of the lights. Then you have 30, or use all 4 and you 40, depending on your setup. Because I have the fridge running on this, I didn't need it. If you have the fridge wired in, well, you could use all 4. So depending on battery unit, there's a lithium pack, which is, in my opinion, better. Depending on battery unit, check with the manufacturer. The output, these are all 10 amps. I think the new one has actually got, this one is, the Anderson port, I think on the newer one is 20 anyway, so it's better. But because these are all 10, it's 40 together. So then what I've done, I've bought the original cable. First off, I wired up my own. I bought a cigarette one, which was 10. And then I used the Anderson one, which is 10, so I had 20. But I thought I'd go for the cable just to make it neater, and also it is safer because it's done by them for exactly this purpose. So it goes down to my fuse box, and then which still needs tidying up, and then that wires up the heater. Put an extra switch in for the pump which is underneath the sink. And the 2 lights, so I can put as many lights as I want, because I think it's 6. So I've used 4. I can do 2 more, or I can run 2 of the same if I wanted to, but I don't need it. I might have one more light near the entrance, or maybe see if I can buy an adapter for this cable to have on a switch, so I don't need to unplug it every time I want to turn them off, or turn the lamps off individually. But yeah, so that's the way I've done it. That leaves them free for any other appliances I want. And all these are actually quite dirty. And all the USB ports for phone charging and other charging. So I've got my phone cables in. The unit is quite nice because you can turn each one on and off when you want to use it. So it's not when you don't use it, you just turn it off. So that one is always on. And then the input, my solar panels is on. I could plug another solar panel in there if I wanted to, but I'm hoping to get my optimization unit back soon. So yeah, it's fairly straightforward, but that's the way I've done it. So it depends on the manufacturer. I wouldn't run the lights on a USB output just because it's not the safest option. I think if you have some sort of cigarette lighter or 8mm, 6mm port, check what the output is and check if you can, like me, combine them all together to then increase the overall amp. Because I know a lot of things need more than 10, like the heaters spike over 10 just, well, my one did for a millisecond, but every time it did, just when it started up, the internal fuse switched off, and then I had to restart that and restart the heater, but I couldn't get it to run. But once I've gone up to 20, the heater runs no problems. And like I said, it's only for a split second that reaches 10, and then it goes back down to 1 or something. So yeah, I'm happy with the setup, and it seems to work. And like I said, if you wanted, you can, on this model, bring it up to 40 amps if you want to. But I needed them for the fridge. So yeah, and hopefully that's helpful. Don't know what unit you might have, but check with the manufacturer what output you can. And then yeah, if you combine them, the amp does go up on this one. And I would always say go for the manufacturer's cable. It's quite expensive. I think it's £30. Not cheap for a cable that's, well, you see the end there, it's a very small cable. But it does mean it was manufactured exactly for this. Or you can make your own if you wanted to. But yeah, hopefully that helps you on how to do it on a battery pack as such, rather than leisure batteries and inverters and charge controllers, etc. It's just a convenient option, because I can take this out as well and plug it in. It's it's just a big battery pack basically. It's got everything else built in. So yeah, there you go, one cable. And then again, you don't need a fuse box because this unit actually has a fuse built in for each one. But I wanted one because I thought it'd be safer, and also means if I ever want to take the battery pack out and go down the route of normal leisure batteries, I already have the fuse box installed. I just need to tidy it all up. But yeah, it's work in progress. It's been using it, I've just decided to change all around, which is why it's a mess again. So there you go, hopefully that was helpful. Any questions, just let me know.